Another good game. Miami versus Texas A&M.
ACC is back, Beau. ACC is back. Miami is putting us back on the map, bro.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yo.
Fax
and the King. I'm the Butter King. We got Dr. Fax.
And we got Fauché in the building. How's everyone doing?
I'm doing really good. How you doing, Fax? What are you torqued on right now?
I am torqued because it is finally due date week for me and
it's game week, Fax.
Yeah, for me and my girl. The due date is supposed to be the 16th of September. And we are hoping and praying that she is on time. For my girl's sake, I know she is ready to give birth, and it's been a crazy and fun pregnancy. But I think me and my girl both, we are ready to meet our daughter, and yeah, like I'm super torqued about it. I finally have my hospital bag packed and ready to go. So I'm ready for that experience and just been waiting.
Game day for Father Fax. Can't wait to see how you perform. What about you, Foch? Talk to me.
I'm pretty torqued because we finally got into our new place in DC, got all of our furniture set up, and you know, obviously before we got any couches or anything to sit on, we found a golden tea machine. So we now have a golden tea machine in our living room that we have basically been playing nonstop.
What's golden tea?
Hell yeah, brother.
It's like,
you don't know what golden tea is?
Oh, wait, like the video game Gauff?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look at the flick of the wrist.
I'm more of a big buck hunter guy, Foch, but that's honestly thrilling. I'm excited for you.
I'll thrash you in buck hunter any day of the week, bro.
All right, we'll see. Anyway, let me tell you guys what I'm torqued about. This is a little more abstract, so bear with me. I am torqued on the phrase, hell yeah, brother. I've basically realized that I say it nonstop, and I've kind of been doing this bit recently where I've realized that you can respond hell yeah, brother to literally anything that anybody ever says to you, and they never question it. So really going to kind of keep that going. Also can be shortened to HYB, which is fun, or else you can just say 3 words. I got 3 words for you, Fax. Hell yeah, brother. So
hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. Try it out sometime.
And watch out, because Fax and the King merch coming soon. The HYB tees and hats will be coming soon.
Hell yes, brother. I fucking love it. Let's go.
Got you guys covered already.
Let's get the merch on. I just want a mustache, just an outline of a mustache, and just hell yeah, brother.
So I seen on the timeline, Beau, you've been traveling a lot, and you recently were in Philadelphia. And it looked like you were on maybe a red carpet. What was that about?
It was actually a green carpet. It was turf. But yeah, I was in Philly visiting my old stomping grounds, hanging out with my buddy Jason Kelce for the premiere of his documentary Kelce, which actually comes out today, Tuesday, September 12th. And it was really good. So I was there for the premiere, got to catch up with Kelce and Connor Barwin and some of my old Eagles teammates. Also got to hang out with some of the current guys I never played with, like Jordan Mailata, who's like the biggest fucking dude in the world. Met a bunch of their O-linemen too, all good guys. But yeah, caught up with a lot of support staff, guys I played with and guys I was around the building with. So that one was really fun. But the documentary was cool because it followed Jason and kind of, you know, his battles with figuring out whether or not he's going to retire or transitioning out of the NFL. That was originally what the documentary was going to be. And then it kind of morphed into you know, something that really explored the Kelce family, his parents, you know, his wife Kylie, their 3 daughters, and then obviously Travis as well, and their, you know, their podcast that they have, and you know, culminating.
Shout out to New Heights.
Shout out to New Heights, culminating in the Kelce Bowl, the Super Bowl, where Travis and Jason played each other last year. So it was really good. It was funny because I was chopping it up with Kelce in the hotel room before the premiere, and he was fucking nervous. Which was so funny to me because this is a guy who's played unbelievable football, like given Super Bowl parade speeches and is a pretty confident guy, but all he would tell me is like, dude, I don't know, man. Like I get really emotional in the documentary. I just don't know like how it's going to be. Like I cry a couple times. I was like, motherfucker, we see you cry every season, man. Like this is nothing new for us. But yeah, it was great to catch up with those guys and see, Kylie and Jason and, everybody else. So I had a good time in Philly.
Oh yeah, speaking of the Kelce story, I had seen a social media post with Jason or one of them calling you Honey Bobo and explaining how you were in the mix when he supposedly met his wife for the first time. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's a great story, man. First of all, the Honey Bobo nickname goes way back. Doug Peterson actually gave me that when I was a fullback for the Eagles. Like, I'm a two-way player too, Fax. It's not just Travis Hunter, all right? I was fullback. I was a nose guard. But the package that we had when I was the fullback on short yardage and goal line was called Honey Bobo. So that's where that came from. But anyway, yeah, it's fucking – I leaned into it. This was back in the day. This is my pre-Butter King era.
That is funny.
But – Kylie Kelce, who's Jason's wife, was recently on New Heights and told the story of, when they met for the first time, which I was actually privileged to be a part of. It's a hilarious story. Basically, they met on Tinder, and they're not shy about it. And Kelce was like, you know how it is. You're swiping on Tinder on these fucking dating apps, and he was really excited about her. Like, we were talking about her in the lunch or in the cafeteria, like, different lines and stuff he's going to say to her. So he invited her out to this bar, Buffalo Billiards, which is like a legendary bar. Kelce's like the king of Old City. And we used to go to Buffalo Billiards all the time. They had steel tip darts. They had Big Buck Hunter. They had Golden Tee, like billiards, skee ball, like all the fucking toys. We used to go there and just get wasted and play all these games. But he invited her there after our holiday party, which was like a big deal for the Eagles. And for whatever reason, we decided to like pregame this holiday party, and we were busted up. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, we were busted up. And I'll never forget, like, we pregame this party, and then we go to the holiday party, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, I got to keep an eye. Like, when your boys are like really going out, you're like, I got to keep an eye on these dudes because, like, I don't really know how this shit's gonna go. I remember thinking to myself, like, let's check in on Kelce real quick. And I turn, I look at him, and he's like 50 yards away. The holiday party was at the link. He's talking to Mr. Lurie, the owner of the team. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, oh shit, like, I hope this is going all right for Kelce. And the moment I like look over at Kelce, he's super far away from me. He like turns fully around, makes eye contact with me from across the room and just winks and turns back around. And I was like, oh shit, like, he's good. Like, we're gonna be all right. And so we end up going out to Buffalo Billiards. Kylie, who, this was before they were married, obviously, like, this was their first introduction, and Kelce was smashed. He fell asleep on the bar, like literally on the bar. And Kelce's one of those dudes where, like, when he gets drunk, he's just out. Like, he'll just sleep anywhere. Like, I was at a concert with him in Philly, and he was sleeping during it. It was insane. Anyway, I realized that, like, we got to get him the fuck out of there because he's in bad shape. So I had a fireman carry him home, which was like maybe half a mile. But like, he kept fucking with me during it. So like, I was like carrying him, and it was exhausting because he was like pure dead weight, like literally carrying a corpse. But then he would like come to life randomly and like squirm around and like try to get me to like drop him, like act like he was, I don't even know. Like, he was just trying to fucking be like, like come back to life and then like pass back out. And I'm trying to carry him his dead weight. He's like a 280-pound guy. I was sweating my absolute ass off. So yeah, I mean, had to carry Kelce home, really swept him off his feet that night. I don't know if the first date went that well, but I guess it went really well because they got married. They have 3 beautiful daughters, and now they have a documentary coming out about their family. So
you swept Jason off his feet before his wife did.
And I brought him home that night.
Look at that.
So a good time. Kylie's an
came
absolute saint too. Can't say enough good things about her. She's hilarious on the New Heights. Check that out. It's fun to have that story come out because
can't wait to see that documentary for sure.
Yeah, check it out. It's good. Speaking of the NFL, Dr. Fax, the suits kind of aren't really allowing us to talk about NFL football, which we are very familiar with as 2 former NFL football players. But fuck the suits. We're going to do one-hitters. We're not allowed to smoke the whole blunt. We're just going to take one little one-hitter. We're going to go hit the one-hitter.
Just one hit.
Just one little hit about the NFL, and I don't think there's a bigger storyline in the NFL, obviously, than Aaron Rodgers' injury last night.
Who coincidentally took one hit this season.
You're never ever going to – it's crazy how these things work out in the NFL, man. You got 4 snaps, all the hype surrounding Aaron Rodgers and how much hoopla, him going, from Green Bay to New York. It's 9/11. He's running out the tunnel with the flag. And it's like, fuck, man, we didn't even really get a chance to see him. It's insane. It's a weird combination of like hilarious and tragic. So I don't know, man. It really fucking sucks for my feelings.
It was the number one off-season story. It was the number one off-season story, and from every single angle, to how much Green Bay gave up for Aaron Rodgers and or how much they got in return, and how that's affected now with him being hurt. But just how everything, like media-wise, really was spun around Aaron Rodgers and what was going to happen this season with him being on the Jets. And then for the fans' sake, we got Hard Knocks and got to see a little bit more into how they really revamped that entire franchise for him. And to see him go down in the first series is crazy. And the fact that the NFL is leaning into this whole scripting, I think this is a crazy dynamic for fans.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal for him, man. And shout out to the Jets and especially the Jets defense. My former teammate in Tampa, Jordan Whitehead, had 3 picks. Jets defense looked unbelievable at times. I don't know if Wilson necessarily looked ready. Hopefully they can get him right. Maybe the Jets will go pick up a vet quarterback or something like that. We'll see. But that's kind of my one hitter. Had to talk about the Rodgers injury. Fucking sucks for Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer, great player. Never want to see something like that happen in a highly anticipated season. What do you got for your one hitter, Fax? Let me pass the one-y to you. What do you got for me?
My one hitter is that Mr. Irrelevant indeed is still relevant. Brock Purdy, after coming back from injury and having the start that he had last year in the manner that he got his introduction and coming on to take a team deep into the playoffs after their starting quarterback got injured, and the fact that everyone was up in the air about what San Francisco were going to do. They traded Garoppolo, and it was a big story if he was going to look ready. And godly did he look ready, because he came out 220 yards, 2 touchdowns, 65% in the first game. But more importantly, the entire San Francisco team, together with him leading the pack, they look strong and they look like serious contenders if you can make that assumption from one game.
Hell yeah. Man, that one hitter felt smooth, Fax, but I'm getting notified by the suits people upstairs that we are not allowed to talk about the NFL anymore. That's too much time, even though we both love it so much and have had a lot of quality time in the NFL. So let's talk some college football week 2. I don't think there's a team in college football that has more hype around them than the Colorado Buffaloes. Colorado versus Nebraska is the first game up in this roundup we're going to discuss. Colorado is a little flat in the first half, but they ended up winning 36-14. Some people are kind of questioning whether or not Colorado's the real deal after, somewhat less exciting performance against Nebraska. What do you think, Fax? Are they real?
I think they are real. And what people are going to see week to week, not only from the talent, college football is one of those things week to week. You're going to see a lot of teams that they can match up on talent. But what we're going to see is how Deion Sanders as a coach and their coaching staff, they match up against some of these schemes, and going in at halftime and making adjustments. That's really what I'm excited to see this team do throughout the year, because that's what's going to happen. Everyone is on notice about Colorado. So you're going to see every coach put their best scheme together to try to beat them. So it's going to be exciting to see how Deion Sanders handles that. And I feel that Deion and his son playing quarterback, they have a relationship where he really trusts Shador to do the right thing on the field. And I think that is going to go a long way, and that's going to start being evident more and more when some of these bigger games come up. And they're going to see more adversity coming up, but it's going to be how you bounce back. And you just got to know, I think mentally, the mental aspect, more and more we're seeing each game is there. And I think in college football, that's usually a bigger hurdle than the physical aspect when it comes to football and guys just being ready and knowing what they can do and being sure of what you're doing so that you can play fast and like worry free. So,
yeah, I mean, it's tough, X. It's tough to follow up such a strong open for Colorado, and you get kind of an emotional, I don't know, like a little bit of an emotional decline after a big game like that. But hey, they still got the fucking win against Nebraska. There was some theatrics on the field as well, which is fun. Sanders like popped his helmet off when the Nebraska coaching staff kind of brought it up on their logo, and I don't know, those college football rivalries are fun, but Colorado has 2 big games coming up on their schedule, Oregon and USC. Super pumped to see those. Also, I know you're fully in on Travis Hunter. He had a big juke on a reception. How you feeling about his week 2 performance?
I love it again. And again, he's racking up the stats. And I think it's something that maybe weekly we should at least mention the snap count, because after 2 weeks, Beau, he is at 278 snaps. That's a
lot of reps, brother.
Bro, there's like, it's crazy to say, there's some college kids they're not going to play that many snaps their entire season. They're not going to play that many snaps. So for him to have that many throughout 2 games is absolutely crazy. And I hope that, again, I'm wishing nothing but health to that kid. Same. Because I definitely want him to stay healthy. And they got game day this week, and I hope these guys get all of the attention that they deserve. And I'm excited to keep following them week to week this year.
Absolutely. Shedeur Sanders is playing well too. I think he's a lot more poised than I was expecting to be. I think he has a lot better pocket presence than I expected as well. And he's pretty high up there in the Heisman rankings. I think he's 4th this week. But definitely Colorado is fun to watch, fun to follow along with game day coming into Boulder. I think we'll continue to talk about them.
And I'll keep you guys updated because I put a $25 bet on them to win everything this year. And FanDuel has already given me a $45 cash out, which makes me believe that they somewhat believe that they might be serious, that they're giving me a cash out on that bet after 2 games already.
Yeah, and we'll continue to talk some more gambling. I know you love gambling. Father Fax, we'll hit some of that later in the pod. But moving on here, talking about college football week 2, Alabama versus Texas. I was a little bit surprised. I mean, Texas ended up coming away, getting the win, 34-24. Bama fell in the rankings just a little bit. They were 3 before, and now they're still 10 or something like that. But Quinn Ewers looks strong. He went 24 for 38 with 349 yards and 3 TDs. You love to see that. Texas defense played pretty well as well. And then Texas had 21 fourth quarter points. So it was good on them for finishing that game strong. And I thought Texas looked pretty fucking good, if I'm being honest with you.
I think Alabama looked good too, but I think it was just a good game. I think this is exciting for college football whenever Alabama isn't that like the outright number 1 team. So many years, at least for September, it's nothing but Alabama on TV, and that's starting to change. And a lot of I don't know if coaches are getting better or recruiting or the NIL is landing kids different places and the transfer portal.
Or maybe kids just don't want to go practice hard as fuck every day with Nick Saban. They want to go ham it up on social media with Prime over in Colorado.
Yeah, but maybe that's what it is. But I like it, and I think it's great for the game, seeing more like competitive games like this and seeing teams that we think or in the previous years we're just used to seeing them win early. And I think this is it just shows how crazy college football is going to be this year and years to come. And the NIL and the transfer portal has really, really changed the game, where I don't think anyone can go into a season being so sure that their team is going to be so dominant like it used to be in college football for so many years. You
never know what you're going to get, man. This transfer portal can create a whole new team in the offseason. It's wild. Another good game, Miami versus Texas A&M.
ACC is back, Beau. ACC is back. Miami is putting us back on the map, bro, because I remember when
yeah, brother.
Right? When I played at UVA, when I was in the ACC, Miami, the Florida ACC teams Miami and FSU, they were so feared because they always had some of the fastest kids in the country that just happened to all be from Miami. Like, I don't know what's in the water down there, but seeing this game and seeing them get a big win early, and really putting the ACC on the map or on alert to watch out for this year, it was absolutely crazy. Their quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke, he was 21 for 30 with 374 with 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns. And then Miami, talking about speed, they had an electric 98-yard kickoff return. And there's nothing better than special team big play. I say this all the time. I'm a big play junkie, and watching a team like Miami and their special teams, when they have just 11 kids out there that can just run, it's always exciting to watch something like that.
And you said it, man. The ACC is 4-1 against SEC teams this season, so it's a good win, man. Very good win for Miami. Moving on, Fax. Speaking of the ACC, why don't we talk a little bit about our alma maters? For those of you that don't know, I went to Wisconsin. Dr. Fax went to Virginia. So did Foch. We talk about that shit all the time. Talk to me about Virginia, Fax. What happened?
So my fuck that of the week is going to go to Mother Nature, because a beautiful, beautiful afternoon, a little hot in Charlottesville, a little humid, but nevertheless, noon start for in-state rivalry versus JMU, and everything is going well. We have our true freshman quarterback playing amazing for his first start, amazing showing, putting points on the board. And at the start of the fourth quarter of this game, while we are leading with the momentum, up maybe 6 points, we get a lightning delay in the fourth quarter, Beau, and they delay the game for 90 minutes. And
fuck Mother Nature, dude.
And you know what happened after that 90 minutes, obviously. They had time to adjust. They came out and they win the game. And so Mother Nature, you fucked that game up for us. So we're starting off terribly, 0-2 this season. We have a tough game this coming Friday night. Hopefully we could turn it around and get another win under the belt for the ACC.
Yeah, tough one for our alma maters, Fax. My fuck that. As a player, there's some things you cannot control in the football field. You said one of them, Mother Nature. The other one is the refs. Fuck that. Fuck the refs in the Wisconsin-Washington State game. Bucky lost 31-22. There was a horrible spot on what should have been a safety in the fourth quarter of that Wisconsin game. So that's 2 points off the board there. And then on the next possession, there was a fumble. Obviously, I'm an alumni, so I'm biased. I thought that the running back was down. It should not have been a fumble. That's a 9-point swing right there, which is devastating. Fuck that. Fuck the refs. So Wisconsin's really going to need to bounce back. It was so bad, too, because two of my really good friends, the Long family, who I play with Travis Long in Philly, he's a Washington State alumni. He was at the game, and he was shit-talking me the entire time. So never fun when your buddies, school beat your school. But moving on, we've gone through these games. Let's talk about the big man on campus. This is a segment that I love where we basically just talk about guys that balled out. Now they're the big man on campus. So talk to me, Fax. Who's your big man on campus this week?
My BMOC big man on campus this week is UVA's Anthony Calandria, true freshman quarterback from St. Petersburg, Florida.
Hey, represent St. Pete.
Hey.
That's right across the bridge from where I'm at.
Yeah, he got his first start. Unfortunately, our transfer quarterback, Tony Muskett, went out last game with an injury, and he played this game, and he was 20 for 26. He had 377 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And like I said, would have had his first win under his belt. We had just a terrible timing with Lightning at the start of the fourth quarter, and had a lengthy delay before they resumed the game. Really, I thought that maybe they should have canceled or called the game off, and we would have won, and he would have got his first win. But I am excited to see him play for the rest of the season, and he is my big man on campus this week.
Hell yeah. My big man on campus this week, West Virginia wide receiver Hudson Clement. 6'1", 199 pounds from Martinsburg, West Virginia. 5 receptions, 177 yards, 3 TDs, an unbelievable game, great stat line from him. But I think what's even more interesting is he only learned he was going to play right before the game after Devin Carter was a late scratch, and he fucking balled out. He had a 70-yard long reception and then, received a full scholarship this past week because of his performance. He went from zero to hero like fucking Hercules.
Next man up. I love it.
Next man up on Saturday. So good for you, Hudson Clement. Big man on campus. Enjoy it, man. I'm sure you're having a fucking great week. One thing I want to hit really quickly, I'm going to be really fast with this. Small school spotlight. I really don't care too much about some of these small schools, but had some really good performances I want to highlight really fast. University of New Hampshire versus Central Michigan. Central Michigan won 45-42, but some really good performances from some guys from University of New Hampshire, notably wide receiver. Dylan Lobb had 12 receptions, 299 yards, and 2 TDs. Then also 7 carries for 30 yards and 1 TD. He's their leading rusher and pass receiver. Really good performance from him. So that's fun to watch. And we're just going to try to keep updated on some small schools.
Hey, I like that. Shout out to Krishan Frazier, my old CFL teammate, who was a former Chippewa. That's why I even know what their mascot is. I used to make fun of him all the time about that. But
yeah, I had a buddy, Scotty Miller, went there too. It's fun to highlight some of these small schools. Maybe we can get some D2, D3 schools in the mix as well. What do you think about that, Dr. Fax?
I like that. I am all for the small guys getting some love too. And I am all for this new segment. We are going to start implementing a Fax and the King parlay for all of you guys out there. And how we're going to do this is it's very simple because my guy Beau is not into betting.
No, so it's not that I'm not into it, Fax. I just honestly don't understand it. It's like a running bit. I don't get it, bro.
I was the same way before I started this job with Greenlight and then with the Fax and the King and getting into the sports media world. I was not too familiar with betting and money lines and all that, but I know enough now that this will be a fun little bit for us. And
teach me, Father Fax. Teach me how to gamble.
All you have to do, guys, each week is have a pick. And we're going to do, weekly, we're going to do college football. And our early picks this week, mine is going to be Army plus 9.5, 9.5 over UTSA, which is University of Texas, San Antonio. That is going to be my pick. Fauché, who are you picking?
This week, Virginia taking on Maryland on Friday night. It's going to be my birthday. Going to be watching the game. Going to be enjoying some time with the boys. I love the Who's. The Who's love me back. So I'm going to take UVA to cover 14.5.
Birthday week, Foch is feeling himself. All right, I got LSU to cover the spread against Mississippi State, and I've learned that it's 9.5, so they need to score 10. I did not know that because I fucking don't know how to gamble, but I think that's an absolute lock. So yeah, it'll be fun to do the FnK Parlay. I think we'll continue to become gambling degenerates on this pod. Please join us in our descent. Anyway, moving on. This is one of my favorite segments. Shit to talk to your girl about. The reasoning behind this is, fellas, we listen to this podcast, talk about a lot of different stuff, none of which is likely interesting to your girl. So let me give you a little nugget to talk to your girl about. And this is kind of a deviation from some of the other stuff. Like I've talked about skincare and pumpkin spice lattes and all sorts of shit like that. This time we're actually going to talk about sports. Coco Gauff wins the women's U.S. Open final. She's 19 years old. She's number 3 in the world. She's super swaggy. Saw a really cool clip of her as a 12-year-old, I think, at the U.S. Open, and then kind of juxtapose that against her big win. So talk to your girl about the youngest American to win a major tournament since Serena Williams. Super excited for her. Also, she's really fucking swaggy. I think she's kind of got it going on. So talk to your girl about that.
Yeah, that's fire. And it's fire that Serena won that at 17. And shout out to Coco Gauff. Yeah, 19. I can't even think about what I was doing at 19, but to be the number 3 in a sport that young, before you can really legally go and get a beer, kudos to you.
I'll buy her
for
a beer.
real, right?
You earned
Like,
it, Coco.
know.
I got you.
It's so crazy. And then to do it in the way she did, she lost the first set and then just dominated the next 2 sets. Shout out to her. And yeah, this perfect thing to talk to your girl about. Shout out to Coco Gauff.
Absolutely. Well, what a fucking show today, Fax. I love it. And if I could wrap it up with one thing, this is what it is. At the end of the day, if someone says some shit to you and you don't really know how to reply, all you got to do is look them dead in the eye and say,
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
I love it. Make sure you guys tune in every week to Fax and The King. Every Wednesday on all social media platforms. Check us out. Add us, like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate you and see you guys next week.